Look at how many videos we have made. 479, almost 500. This is a lot of content and a lot of good stuff no one has ever seen because we barely get views on a lot of these videos. So here's a classic gem, a video that I really like about Ray Dalio's secret to getting what you want out of life. Here it comes. You ever feel lost in life and in the markets, just tossed around, down on your luck? Like a dead body in a dirty ditch, just in need of some fatherly advice. Well, you're in luck because we got Big Daddy Dalio giving us advice all the time nowadays. Lately, he's been publishing new stuff non-stop, and he says he's gonna go away in about a year. He's gonna be quiet again, so let's take it while it's here. And if you don't know Ray Dalio, he is the founder of Bridgewater. And a few years ago, he actually surpassed George Soros' quantum fund for the most profitable hedge fund of all time. And you can see Soros was not very happy about that. His legendary eye bags are even bigger after that happened. You could literally keep snacks in these bags. He gives securing the bag a whole new meaning. But in this video, we're gonna talk about Dalio's 5-step process to getting what you want out of life. He says there are 5 things that you have to do to get what you want out of life. First, you have to choose your goals, which will determine your direction. Then you have to design a plan to achieve your goals. And on the way to your goals, you're gonna encounter problems. And these problems will typically cause you pain. The most common source of pain is in exploring your mistakes and your weaknesses. So you're either gonna react badly to the pain or react like a master problem solver. That's your choice. To figure out how to get around those problems, you gotta be calm and analytical to accurately diagnose your problems. Only after you have that accurate diagnosis can you make a design or a plan that will get you around them. Then you have to do the tasks that are specified in that plan. And through this process of continuing to encounter problems and figuring out how to get around them, you're gonna get progressively better and more capable of achieving your goals more easily. Then you're gonna set bigger and more challenging goals in the same way that someone who works out at the gym, increases their weights. And this is the process of Dalio's personal evolution, his 5-step process. So let's break that down. Step 1, have clear goals. Now that sounds simple enough. We've been setting goals since like elementary school. 2nd grade, I remember doing goal setting. But most people aren't doing real goal setting. They're just, paying lip service to it. 99% of people are just wandering around aimlessly in life. And honestly, if you don't know where you're going, how can you ever get there? See, I saw that in a fortune cookie once. It was a great saying. It wasn't really a fortune, but that's okay. For example, take going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you need a clear goal of what you're trying to do. Are you trying to gain more muscle? Do you have some back pain that you're trying to fix? Are you trying to be on the treadmill doing some cardio so your heart gets a little healthier? What's the goal? That's really important. One time I was at the gym and I just saw this guy kicking around a medicine ball, just rolling it with his foot around the gym. Now, I'm not gonna say that's not an exercise, but what's the goal there? Ankle strength? And that's the problem that you see with a lot of people that go to the gym because they're not setting proper goals. And then they're disappointed when they don't see progress, but they didn't have a clear goal in the first place. So of course they were gonna fail. Think about in the markets. The first thing you gotta do before you even start trading is determine what your goal is. Are you just trying to have fun? Are you trying to build up your retirement? Are you actually trying to become a professional trader like George Soros, but with less eye bags? You gotta be able to set that particular goal because everything else that you do to achieve that goal is gonna be based off that. You have the end result in mind and then you work backwards. Now the next 2 steps, I would combine them. So identify and don't tolerate the problems that stand in the way of achieving your goals and accurately diagnose those problems. Okay, so the problems part, this is the tough part because this part once again requires that you be honest with yourself, which most people don't want to do because it becomes kind of painful. Let me give you an example. Say you want to be a beautiful hair model, just flipping your hair all the time for L'Oreal commercials. You know you're worth it too because you got great hair. At least you think you have great hair, but in reality, you have a hairline like LeBron's. Now, can you become a hair model if you're LeBron James? Now, I'm not gonna say you can't, but if you're not gonna admit to yourself where you're actually starting from, then yeah, it is gonna be impossible to be a hair model. And that's the tough part, bringing yourself down to earth and being like, okay, I don't have good hair. You gotta work with reality instead of against it, because if you work against reality, you're never gonna get anywhere. And that's where the honesty comes in. And like I said, most people don't wanna be honest and objective because it ruins the dream. It's a lot more fun to dream about doing something than to actually do it, because the doing part is hard and it often does shatter dreams. Everyone just loves to imagine themselves as a male Farrah Fawcett with beautiful hair, so beautiful that you become a Charlie's Angel. This is way more fun fantasizing about Farrah Fawcett than actually doing something. And it's also hard because it comes back to our ego. All our egos are so fragile. We don't want to do anything to hurt them. And telling yourself the truth, well, yeah, that is going to hit your ego. But that's what you got to do if you want to progress. All right, let's bring it back to trading. Say you want to become the next Ray Dalio. but you're stuck on your $100 Robinhood account jacking yourself off trading penny stocks. That is clearly very far away from where you want to be. So you got to be honest with yourself with what you're doing versus what Dalio would be doing. And this goes back to your goals too. In the previous step, you got to be honest about them, because maybe you're here in the stock market just to have fun and treat it like a casino. And that's not a bad thing. A lot of people do that, as long as you know you're not blowing all your mortgage money. But the thing that's bad is confusing what you're doing with something else. Penny stocks are not what Ray Dalio does. It's not the market wizard way. So you need your goal and your actions to align. Now, the next step after you diagnose your problems, you got to design plans that explicitly lay out tasks that will get you around your problems and onto your goals. So you got your goal, you define the problems that are keeping you from it. Now you got to make a plan. So if you got a LeBron James hairline, maybe you get hair plugs. I mean, look at Tobias. It worked out great for him, but you would never be able to come up with this plan to get hair plugs if you thought your hair already looked like this instead of this. Admitting you have a problem is the first step. Or maybe when you're making your plan, you decide to change your goal because you're being realistic with what you're working with. So your plan involves a pivot. Like if you're balding, why would you want to become a hair model when you could easily become an action hero? It is so easy to become an action superstar once you're bald. It's like the only thing you need. You barely need any acting ability. And I don't know why Common is in this picture. Let's pretend it's The Rock, because he is the perfect example of very little acting ability, but lots of action ability and very little hair. So maybe you pivot. Now, if you're trading penny stocks and you're trying to become Dalio, first thing you would have to do is stop playing with penny stocks and start studying macro, right? Or maybe again, you shift your goal. Instead of trying to become Dalio, you want to become a serious day trader. So you're different from Dalio, but you can still be successful. Now, once you got your plan together, you got to implement these plans, do the tasks. And this is the toughest part. Planning and setting goals, it's all great, but execution is where the hardness comes in, because you're going to get feedback from your problems and you're like, oh, this still isn't working. I got to adjust. Oh, it's not working again. Got to adjust again. And then it's a feedback loop. And Dalio actually has a graphic that kind of explains this. Goals to the machine, which is the machine is like the plan and the execution. Then you get your outcome. And then depending on the outcome, you go back and you change the plans again, or the machine. So it's that reflexive loop in those last two steps after you set your goal. Now, if you were honest in those last two steps, then execution does become a lot easier because you're actually in touch with reality. The worst is when you're trying to execute and you're floating up here, you're not grounded at all. Then yeah, you are gonna fail at every turn and you won't even know why. So like Dalio says, by and large, life will give you what you deserve and it doesn't give a damn what you like. So it's up to you to take full responsibility and connect what you want with what you need to do to get it. And then go do those things, which often are difficult but produce good results. And then after you do that, you'll deserve to get what you want. And again, Dalio's 5-step plan seems so simple, you start to question why he even wrote it down for people. But even though it is simple, it is still difficult to execute. And the hardest part, more than anything, is being honest with yourself. So you got to kill your ego, just stab it, let it die, and be honest with what's going on and what you need to do to succeed. Pretty good video, right? Maybe you liked it, hopefully. But if you want more from Dalio, then definitely check out this playlist. We go over all his latest research on the New World Order and the changing of the guard. It's very interesting stuff. You need to check it out. I'll put a link in this video and down below in the description and comments. And also, of course, if you want to be making money yourself in the stock market in the best, most efficient, time-effective way possible, definitely check out our free training here. Teaches you the exact strategy I use and all our Fallible members use. Way easier than anything Dalio does, that's for sure. But also very effective, very profitable. Check it out. Link in this video and down below in the description and comments. And on the next screen, you'll see an option to either go to the playlist or this training. Do either. They're both very worth it. I'll see you there.